Guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am stoked you're here. I want to do a special thank you to all the channel members. And I want to give a special thank you for all the subscribers who come in and watch the content. And I want to give a special thank you for all of you who might have just come in and watched the content, might have come in and been watching the content. You just haven't had a chance to subscribe yet. I totally get it. If you're ever so inclined, if I could get you to help me out, if you click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it'll notify you when I upload content, and it'll really help me out by having my videos get seen by more people. Also, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, all that good stuff helps. But this is a knife that I have been very, very smitten with, excited by, have enjoyed. It was sent to me, you guys, if you saw the unboxing, a couple of weeks ago from Sam Lau over at Am8 Knives. Am8 Knives, spelled A-M-E-I-G-H-T, is part of Miguron knives. And my understanding is they're going to be doing some of their more upscale production work with what I consider to be a very value aggressive price point. This was sent to me by Am8 Knives. Before this knife, I was familiar with the brand because I had the Am8 Flicks. I picked it up at White Mountain Knives, the one that had the flipper little window. There was the version 1. Gave that away at a Friday Night Flicks. And then I had the Miguron Gladiator version 1 that had the traditional back flipper like this one does and thumb studs. And then when this knife first came to me, the Kermu, Sam had sent me a picture of it, and I thought it looked pretty cool. The one thing that I noticed was the flipper tab. As you guys might or might not know on the channel, I've kind of had a little bit of a resurgence in flipper tab knives. There was a year and a half there that if it was the only method of deployment, I really wasn't that interested. I own knives throughout that period and still have knives that fit that description and have come to appreciate them again. So when this knife came in, I wasn't sure how much I was going to be able to say about it with the biases that exist in the way that I open knives. Middle finger flick, thumb studs, and these have neither. These have a traditional flipper tab that works perfectly whether I light switch it or whether I push button it. Snappy detent. Nice access to the lock bar. It's not milled out. That's one thing I'd like to see a little more of. Either some jimping on the inside of this lock bar, the lock bar access there, or even possibly displace it a little bit to where you've got more access to it, I guess, for lack of better terms. But then when you look at the design, there's no problem getting to it. The way I look at it is it's milled out where I can simply go straight for it. You know, there are a couple of different ways when we carry knives. A lot of us, probably that only have a few knives, don't even have to think about it, but that you can deploy and remove the tension from that lock bar. And this knife has not bothered me at all, or I've not found it cumbersome, so to speak, to get to that lock bar. But that would be something I could see where they could have maybe added a little bit of texture there on that lock face so that you would feel it when you went in there blind. But literally, it's more of a straight down the chute access for me. You've got a nice back spacer. You've got this really highly detailed milled titanium panels, and they're kind of a diamond textured, a raised diamond texture, excuse me. And you've got this silver twill or silver black carbon fiber. Am8's logo is on the pivot there. You do have a captive pivot. You've got a fantastic pocket clip. This clip is a titanium clip, but it is unique in that it is stamped. I don't know how this would necessarily classify, but it is done so well. It's got such soft edges. It doesn't rattle. I'm wearing jeans right now. It goes in and carries with no problem to right here. So it's not going to be a full deep carry, but neither is my relative, right? Really well done pocket clip. I say that because on the Gladiator Gen 1, it was very, very tight. The flicks was okay, but it did not have nearly this amount of detail in the titanium. And then the star of the show, for me, why I've enjoyed carrying this knife, why I've enjoyed using this knife, is it is an immaculate, sexy, great drop point, compound ground, hollow on the flat. You've got the flat up at the tip, so you still got a broad tip. Super deep hollow grind here. M390 blade stock. Let's see. Guys, we'll get some cardboard because I cut, not only on the unboxing, I have processed. We have the recycle runs this week. So I have cut down several boxes using this knife. And that's me. This is paper that's been sitting outside of the ream. So it's got kind of that moisture thing going on with it. You can kind of see how it's wavy. But this knife is an absolute laser beam. And let me show you, see if I can find a piece of cardboard. Do this right here. All right. That hollow grind just catches that meat. The handle's very neutral, kind of a neutral rectangle. Piercing point, digging point. But just an absolute joy to cut with. I love when Sam sent me the picture of it. I was like, you know, I'm really not sure what I think about that. I'm not really sure about the look of the blade. It looked tactical to me. I could not at the time tell how deep the hollow grind was. So when it showed up, I was, God, very, very impressed. I thought it just looked gorgeous. And then I started cutting with it. One thing led to another. It's been in my pocket, guys. I carry several different knives per day because I'm testing stuff out. But this guy has gotten the most pocket time, the most use in my EDC little world. It does hold tape in that belt satin bevel, so I take my KPL blade cleaner and I like to wipe that tape out of there because I'm OCD. But we'll get some size comparisons here. Get our paper back out. Let's do this. This M390 is heat treated between 59 and 61 HRC. And my understanding is, I don't know about that number, but that Am8 Miguron typically treats it on the acceptable but the lower side. But guys, this knife, this is the piece right out of the ray. You can tell it's crisper. Look at it just fall apart. Use that front belly. It's got bite for days. Whoops. Very slicey, very neutral. Absolutely no blade movement up or down or any blade movement anywhere, right? Your stop pin is going to come in back there. You've got great sharpening choil, also a finger choil that I can get my finger up to. Really nice jimping here on the spine of the knife. You do have this swedge really, I don't know if the camera's doing it justice to get a look at how nicely these blade bevels come together. And you've got this little hunter's tip up at the front. I think it's just such a clean package, guys. I love that they used a solid piece of carbon fiber. I know this is simple. I would rather it be full tie. Y'all know me. But they did use a full piece, even though I think that's really dreamy and has a lot of depth. I'm glad they didn't put two little strips, right? They tried to match it except for the lock face relief. The detent on this knife, next level. I want y'all to hear it real quick. Do a push button. Do a light switch. Push button. Light switch. Both deploy the knife amazingly well. Let's look at it real quickly against some other knives. The Cold Steel 4max, it's going to be bigger than that, or smaller than that. Of course, it's going to be bigger than our baby Banter. That was no real surprise. Give us a better idea when we look at it next to our Benchmade Bug Out, which I have a feeling it's going to be longer than. And our Spatico Paramilitary 2. So it's going to fall in kind of right between the Paramilitary 2 and the Benchmade. It's going to be about the same blade stock as the PM2. A little bit thicker than the Benchmade. However, they're probably going to have the same thinness behind the edge. So yeah, guys, what makes this knife, in my mind, really unique and really cool is A, it is a Miguron knife. Am8, their brand, where they're doing kind of their own thing with some new designs. This is a Sam Liu design. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he is one of the proprietors, one of the owners, one of the ones who made this vision kind of a reality. I've enjoyed every knife I've bought from them. I was honored to be able to check this one out, and I told them I would, and I'd share my conclusions with you guys. So you've got M380 or M390, HRC 5961. That's fine for me on M390. For what I need, I was talking to a buddy tonight. For what I cut open, cat food bags, cardboard boxes, I'm good. I love, love, love the aesthetics of the knife. At first, it struck me kind of bland when I carried it, and I realized what a great blade to handle ratio this knife had, how much blade it had, how comfortable it was in the hand, what a wonderful job that clip does, not to impede on your hand, that choke up point, that really sharp tool jimping there, the action. It's very controlled drop. Just very fluid, very nice. And guys, this knife, I'll put a couple of links in the description of the knife. One of them will be to Miguron's website, which has the AM8s. This comes in right under 8 inches with a 3.5 inch blade. Inside handle dimension of 3 3/4. So that's 3 3/4 from right here to right here. Don't have a lanyard hole on this guy. I don't even think you have no lanyard hole. No problemo. And then if you want to look at that choil grip, you've got about 4.5 inches. And I do use that, even though I don't necessarily need it. But this knife on Miguron's site in M390 and titanium carbon fiber is $203. I've also got links that I pulled off of Amazon. You can get this color, and you can also get it in a gold black carbon fiber. The scales and the blades are the same, but I want to say it's around $183. So it's about $20 less. The Miguron Amazon stores run by the same source as the Miguron AM8 store, but I'll leave you both of those, and they were in stock. They had several models in stock if you're interested. Do I think it's a $200 knife? All day long. I absolutely do. My only drawback initially was going to be the fact that it was a flipper-only knife, and I'm not really a flipper-only knife guy. But after handling this knife, after living with it for a couple of weeks, after experiencing it, the flipper did not become a problem, I have no question that this knife will be a functional part of my EDC, just like my Mr. Design Cipher that's a flipper only, or like my little giant mouse. There's several that are flipper onlys that I still love. This knife's good enough. Do I wish it had thumb studs? Yes. Do I wish there was a knife that was similar to this in terms of aggressive blade, kind of a cool knife that had a finger deployment hole, which I know Miguron Am8 makes? I would love that. If the sacrifice, the snappiness of the detent, I wouldn't think it would be worth it. Because a lot of times you see those knives also couple a front flipper, which to me makes the detent light for the thumb flick or the middle finger flick. I love this knife, guys. I give it an 8, 9 out of 10. Just an overall feel, materials, fit and finish, the cleanness of the scales, the cleanness of the grinds, the evenness of the grind, and this compound up at the tip. It just really comes together well. It does what I consider to be the job it needs to do, which is cut. It'll be easy to touch up on the TS Prof because it's such a hollow grind. You've got that nice radial angle on the front, just that nice drop point. And guys, I'm a big fan. Before we put it away, let's get a weight off of it, because we said it was what, 3.5 inches? What did we decide? It's going to be 3.5 inches. Yeah, 3.5 inch blade. So I'm going to guess that this is going to weigh 4.10. 4.15. I was off. Yep. 4.15, which is still, to me, guys, I look at that as right within that inch and ounce. I'm not married to that metric. That's just, I think, like we talked about before, the ideal. But when you're looking at a full titanium knife that I think is a gentleman's folder with oomph, that has a little more extra in the tank. It's got a thick blade. We didn't even measure that, because that is a tactical blade, even though it's a hollow ground. 0.1285. So 0.1285 comes down to a, whoops, 0.0160. With the handle, I'm guessing right under half an inch, 0.4970. And the height looks like it's going to be right around the same size. So guys, this is the Am8, i.e. Miguron, but they are sold under the Am8, A-M-E-I-G-H-T, the Kermu. Again, it's a Sam Lau design. I think it's fantastic. It gets the seal of approval from me. The reason it took so long on this review is, I'll be honest with you, I haven't wanted to take it out of my pocket. It's just a great knife. It carries well. When I need to cut something, it's up for the task. Guys, I appreciate you sticking with me. I hope you found this video informative, interesting, maybe saw a knife you don't see every day. If you get the chance and you're so inclined, if you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, thank you, thank you. Most importantly though, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Keep an eye out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart, and always choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.